Hello, welcome to Soulfire Woman, Ordinary Women Doing Extraordinary Things. And today, my guest is Jade Groff. And Jade is a mama, a pelvic health specialist, a midwife, and a medicine woman who's been in practice for 30 years. And she has some things she's going to share with us today. But first, before we get started, Jay, maybe you can share with us your heart and vision for women regarding our pelvic health.
I like that question.
A good one to
Thank you
start.
so
Okay, good.
yeah. Thank you so much for having me here and for being in this space together. And feels really exciting to be here. I love just what you do, and also just like the title of Ordinary Women Doing Extraordinary Things. And I think that my vision is really that we all tap into our own innate knowing, wisdom, power, so that we're all doing extraordinary things. And with that, I think in terms of pelvic health and healing, what I really want is that all women know the possibility of healing that they have within their body. So
Mhm.
many women suffer and just feel like there's no answer, there's no way out of suffering, and we suffer silently. And so I want women to know that healing is possible. I want them to know about their body on a level of anatomy, on the physical level, on the energetic level, on the spiritual level, so that not only can they heal their body, but they can heal their life in any way as needed, and they can live their most, what I say, magnificent life.
Mm, that's beautiful. And so in that way, we're kind of similar because, I always want women to feel that wisdom that they have from within and that the answers are within. And it sounds like you're saying the same thing, only going with the total wisdom of the body to know
Hmm.
how to heal. Um,
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
I'm curious, was there a moment in time when, I'm always asking the Soulfire question. Was there a moment in time that soul fire within you picked
Mm.
this path for you or guided you in this way to want to help women embody their wisdom?
Mm. I like literally just you asking me that made me like well up. It just felt like such a potent question. And I feel like there's like different times, but I think um my own journey, like as a teenager, my own desire for healing and this desire that came to me that like I was looking for the healing opportunity. So that was one piece is like the fact that I was looking for the healing opportunity outside of kind of allopathic medicine and modern medicine. And so I think once I started to know that there were other ways of healing and caring for my body and myself, my soul, and the fact like even just knowing I had a soul, or just
Mhm.
awakening that spirit in me. With that came this desire to create the space and cultivate the gifts and the tools and techniques to offer that to others, to other women. um, so I think that's a big piece. And the other thing I just want to say that flashed in front of me when you were asking me was the first birth that I ever attended really stirred something inside of me where I saw the power and the magnificence of the female body in a way that I never had before.
Mhm.
And that was like kind of like mind blowing, soul blowing. Like that was like really an incredible experience. And I was young. I was 21, maybe 22 years old. So that was,
Mm,
yeah.
the miracle of us, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so I'd like to just touch on something well, really the emotion that you felt when I asked the question. And I know I was feeling emotion when you said that. It came back to me, and
Right.
well, what is that for me? And that is for me, it is that, we were never taught to really go within our body, to pay that much attention to our bodies, kind of living this separate life from our body. And I was wondering if that was a similar experience that you had, or, kind of where that emotion came from.
I think that I love that you brought it back to that just now of like, yeah, we're not taught. I think I have so many clients have sat in front of me just saying like, I can't believe I've lived all these decades in my life and no one ever taught me like about my body in this way, or like I don't even know the full potential of my range of pleasure, and I don't have any clue about like how to care for it, and I don't
Mhm,
even know what all the parts are called and all these things. And so I think, yeah, I mean, I wasn't taught that either. Like I had no idea until I knew, and but I think that the potency and the question also just came to like you really were like, it's like that Soulfire question. It's like it's like you're automatically in the question just like inviting me deep inside of myself. And so I
mhm,
think it just like brings that,
mhm,
I don't know. I think the tears are just like that depth. It's like, oh,
mhm,
like you're asking me to feel inside of myself, not just for like what drives you, but like deep. Like you're asking me
mhm,
like what really moves me, like what really has
mhm,
made me, or brought me to this work, but it felt deep. So I think I'm
mhm,
actually seeing
mhm.
comments, and Kirsten's
Oh,
on here, and
okay.
she said the soul fire question
Oh,
exclamation
okay.
point. So that's exciting. That
Yeah,
yeah.
well, I mean, for me, that's always the pivotal point in a woman's life when she decides that it's a turning point, right? There's something that's speaking to your soul, like you said,
Hmm.
that is a turning point. Um, but yeah, and just what you said, like, I'm gonna just be very transparent here. We're talking about pelvic health and our woman parts, and we don't really talk about that. I was thinking about that before this interview, of how little I know at some points in my life. Like you you're told how to go through pregnancy and have a baby or whatever, but you're not really
Yeah.
informed about any of the things that might happen after that. Or, in my age bracket, I mean, I'm well beyond menopause, and no one ever talks to you about what to expect or how to keep vaginal health, or how to keep things going, or everyone uses the word juicy these days, so I'm just going to throw
Hmm.
it out there, but I'm one of those women. I'm like, what's next? So I
Yeah.
know this
Yeah.
huge broad topic. I know within our group we have young moms, and then we have postmenopausal women in the group. So I know it's a broad question, but maybe there are just some, well, you can answer it any way you want. I'm not sure there's a question. Just some tips or something, or just speak to how little we know, or
Okay. Yeah, I think it's true. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's true that there's little we know and there's so much we can know. And I actually care for women and all of that, and all of the like through the lifespan. I would say pre-conception, because I do work with women that are desiring to conceive or having trouble conceiving, and through to, perimenopausal, menopausal, postmenopausal. So all of those phases require a level of um nurturing, require different, self-care, and some of it's like the same and some of it's different. So I think that like you said, I think it's like we need to talk about it. Like we need to not be so silent. We need to know that it's okay to ask questions, and sometimes we don't even know the questions to ask, and I get that.
yes.
um but I think that, I guess this is the way I'm going to answer it, that I think what's been missing, or one aspect of what's been missing is the feminine, because the feminine is an energy, it's a quality, it's an energy. It is something that moves through all people. We have yin yang, we have feminine masculine. It's not just female male, although we can see it in that way. But even across all identities, we have these qualities, and the feminine qualities, which do get magnified through a female, through a woman, have been, shamed, shunned, dishonored, repressed, burned, taken away. Like,
Mm,
we haven't been taught how to nurture those qualities in us, and because of that, we haven't been taught how to nurture our actual, like, physical form.
mhm,
So I think that it's like some of the things that we would think of that are feminine, like I would say, unconditional love, compassion, nurturing,
mhm,
strength, receptivity, even vulnerability, compassion, love, like all these things, like we can funnel them into like physical things. Like I teach my clients, and I'm going to be teaching in this upcoming course. I teach people, how do you massage your pelvis? How do you massage your uterus? How do you take care of your belly? How do you, outside, from the outside, from the inside, how do you eat well? How do you use any kind of like herbs or flower essences? Like, how do you move and exercise? Like all these different,
mhm.
we can talk about it like in for our physical body, for our physical health. But when we bring in the qualities of love and acceptance and rhythm and touch and connection, all these things that I would say are more like feminine qualities, then we find like parts of ourselves and aspects of ourselves that we haven't gotten to know, because we kind of felt like, well, they weren't honored, or even like, it's like, well,
Right.
keep that tucked away, like don't show that, or don't celebrate that. And so
Yeah, you're totally talking my language, the divine
mhm,
feminine, and honoring those aspects of ourselves and elevating the importance of all of that versus like what you said, they weren't honored and pushed away and not valued. And I think for women, it's almost like we have to choose to value it ourselves.
yeah,
And I think that's part what the beauty of what you do. And I just want to throw in here, I
okay,
took one of Jade's workshops, and I don't even remember what it was called, but it was we did movement,
yeah,
and
hmm,
um, I remember touching and lying on the floor and doing something, and it was so powerful for me. I think because again, back to the beginning, I'll speak for myself, but I think I speak for a lot of women. We just separate ourselves from our bodies and
hmm.
bringing that back in. And I remember some wisdom came up for me from that whole experience. So, yeah, so I just want to throw that in there that does these
Thank you.
beautiful has these beautiful experiences, and she does have something coming up that we'll get to in a minute, but before we do that, I just want to keep the discussion going a little bit.
Yes,
So
please.
if
Yeah, I
you
love.
if you could just give us a general tip maybe for a woman, post-birth, or a woman in post-menopausal, like I don't even know if that's a fair question to ask, but something that we can practice or do or
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh, there's so much. I love all of this. This is really, I'm having such a good time with you, because I love the way I love the way we weave like similar things, and it's true, like I love to be deep about it all, and I'm so into just like really getting into the body because I think that's really the way that we actually access the deeper parts, like you just said. And I think, even whether healing from having giving birth and just had a baby, or you're, feeling kind of dry and you're feeling sort of your age and your cycles changing, or maybe your menstrual cycle is gone, I think there's some like questions you can ask yourself, and then I will give like an actual thing you could do. But one of the things I say is pleasure breeds pleasure. And so it's
Mm,
like, when we do, so I think there's two questions you can ask yourself. One is what brings you joy or what gives you pleasure, and the other is like what nurtures you. Like, how can you be nurtured? What do you need to be nurtured? And I think they can be like similar, they can overlap, but I think at any phase of our lives, and I totally understand that some of us don't know the answers to those questions. It's sometimes
mhm,
when we're asked that, we're like, oh my gosh, like, I don't even know. And that happens a
mhm,
lot for women. And I've been there and I feel that. And and yet I think it's important to keep asking the questions, because the more we pause and listen for the answer to those questions, and the more we're getting in touch with ourselves and our desires and our wants and
mhm,
our needs and our feminine. And we need to be nurtured, and usually, that could come through something you love to do, like going for a walk outside, or maybe you love to dance or ride your bike, or maybe it's through what you choose to eat, or so I think there's so many ways. So it's like
mhm,
I don't have all the answers for any one person, because some of it's very much like you have the answer inside of you, what brings you joy and what nurtures you. And it does ripple. It's like the more you do what brings you joy, the more you're going to feel a sense of joy, a sense of aliveness or
mhm,
juiciness, like you said. So
mhm.
it's it's like the more you tend to the fire, the bigger the fire is. How they just soul
Mhm.
fire. So
Yeah.
the more the more you stoke the fire. And so I think those questions are important to keep asking ourselves and to discover like what those things are. Um, and then I think that one thing which you just mentioned in the like when we did that workshop is, you said, "Oh, I remember doing something and coming into in touch with my body." So I think that one of the ways to connect with your body is to actually touch your body. So
Mhm.
to lay your hands on your body,
And your
as a
pelvis.
way. Hmm?
I think we laid our hands on our pelvis, or did
Yeah, on
I
your
know I do
pelvis.
this sometimes just
Hmm.
naturally. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but
No, it's okay. It's okay. Oh, like a yeah, yeah, yeah. I can see
yeah,
you now. Okay.
like, I just do that. I don't know, just
Yeah, yeah.
instinctual.
Well, it's like a
Uh,
symbol. It's the
yeah.
symbol, like the uterine, the womb symbol. Hmm.
I just
Yeah.
really am resonating with what you're saying, and I mean, I think it's like using self-nourishment instead of self-care. I really like that,
Mm, mhm.
nurturing and nourishment, like, you're saying nurture, and when I was imagining it as you were talking, and it's because we nurture everyone else. Right? We
Right.
do that, but
Yeah.
we never
Yeah.
use the word on ourselves. Like, what would that
Right.
feel like if I nurtured myself versus, like,
Right.
self-care? It really
Mhm.
feels like a deeper massage kinda.
Mhm.
Yeah, I just
Mhm.
really resonated with that. Um,
I like
we
that
have
too.
a comment here.
Yeah, I'm noticing that
It
too.
says,
Let
"I'm
me see.
having wacky hormones right now, going through menopause. I recently learned that red wine increases hot flashes. Is there anything else I should be avoiding or adding to my diet besides eating only vegan food, which I do?" I don't know if you're able to answer that or have a response for that.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard in this kind of way to just to individualize, there's so many I think there's so many things that could go into to giving advice. So I'm actually not I don't love to like, as an herbalist, I don't love to just like throw out herbs at people or do this, because I think there's so much that could go into it, and like so much I would love to know more about you. But I would say that one thing that's really important when we are working with our hormones and our female bodies is that we have good quality fats. And
Mm.
so as a vegan, I would say just making sure, when I say fats, I don't even actually mean animal fat. I'm talking like avocado and coconut oil. And I guess as a vegan, you wouldn't do ghee because that's butter, but really like omegas, flax oil, some like we need healthy fat. And that what did she say? Oh, yeah.
Share something
Say
right now. Well, I
from my
can
own
share
experience.
that red wine does give me hot
Yeah,
flashes.
red
I
wine
mean,
can
that's for sure,
definitely
and it
give you hot
lasted
flashes.
beyond menopause, so
Yeah,
yeah,
it could definitely warm you up. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It
I'm
can,
sure
and
she
it's
means
kind of a
more than
bummer.
that from you. I don't know if
Yes,
there's
yeah. I mean, there are this is where it's hard to do kind of like a generalization because we all have different kind of constitutional makeups, and I like to look through the lens of Ayurveda or even a little bit in Chinese medicine, um, but I think that we can say that usually we need that when we're seeking that, like when something's that far off, if things feel extreme, we want to come back to doing things that nurture us. But one of the things that really supports hormones is healthy fats,
oh, good
um,
to know.
as well as good movement, exercise, hydration. And also, I will say hydration, like it has to go beyond water, and this is still something I will say that I'm exploring because I I feel like there's different things I've myself have dabbled in, but I think water isn't good enough. Like we need a little bit of water, but there's like a couple pieces. I'm not going to go into a whole tangent on hydration right now, but we need things that are going to we need it to get into our cells. And so some of that is electrolyte, quality of water, um, not just drinking water for water. And then we go deeper into the body. Some of it's actually restrictions in our fascia that keep us dry. So that's where we get
Mm,
into the body in a way
interesting.
that, yeah, also takes us deeper. Yeah, I'll just stop there because I could talk about
Mhm,
it for a long time.
mhm.
Let me just see
Sounds
if
an
I answered her
interesting
question.
topic. But she says
Definitely.
ginger tea was a disaster. You're talking about hydration, and I
Yeah.
think she's saying,
Yeah,
"Please don't
ginger
take
tea,
this."
if you're running hot, I mean, some people can still do ginger, but if you're running hot, ginger will probably heat you up, especially if it's like dry ginger tea versus fresh ginger tea. Um, so yeah, I wouldn't do ginger tea if I was feeling really hot. Um, I would do like rose petal tea, actually,
Okay.
to cool you off and
Yeah,
get into the
great
womb and the
suggestion.
hormones. Yeah.
Maybe you can share with us all the different ways you work with women because 'cause you're talking about being an herbalist, that's part of your medicine woman bag, I'm
hmm
sure. But what are the different ways that you work with women?
So I work in person and I work virtually, one on one, and in court and in a group in groups. And I use body work modalities and energy medicine modalities. I work with herbs. I work with flower essences. Um, I work with different movement practices, self awareness practices, breath practices, kind of embodiment, really getting into the body. So some of that is technique, and some of that is really just explorations and kind of what I would call more conscious movement, explorations through movement, through sometimes it being more like dance movement, using movement for healing and also for strengthening the core. I recently trained in the style of fitness called Restore Your Core. So that was
Mm.
another thing that just entered my repertoire. But yeah, I would say those are the main things in my medicine bag.
Yeah, I love, like you said, I like bringing in the old wisdom with the new.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
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 And I think I can type in here your website. So let's make sure, or
Okay.
where people can
I may
find
be
you.
able to do it too. Yeah.
Okay, where women can find you.
Yeah. I can do it since I'm open. I have it open too.
And
Well, you can find me on my website, and I'm going to put the link. It's my website, but it's also to this upcoming course just because I don't want to put too many links. So this
yeah,
will lead
so
you to my website, and then you can, oh, hold on.
Jade is offering a 12-week course called Feminine Radiance. And I don't know if you can do two things at once, but maybe you
I
can
know.
tell us
I'm obviously having
a
trouble.
little bit about that, but maybe you already did with all the things that you shared that you do with
There we go.
women. And she did have an early bird special, early goddess special that
Hmm.
ended,
Very
but
good.
maybe I don't know for women watching today, maybe there's something you can offer if they decide to take the course, or
Yeah,
I don't know if I'm putting you on the
absolutely.
spot there. You think
No,
about
no, no, no,
think
no, no,
about it.
no. We talked about it. Um, yeah, so upcoming starting next week, actually, it starts on Tuesday, is a 12-week course called Feminine Radiance. And all the things, that we just talked about are part of the course. So everything from learning body work techniques to, movement to different practices. We will talk a little bit on plant medicine, like herbs and essences. And so all of the things that are in my medicine bag will be, given to you through the 12 weeks. So I'm expecting it to be, or intending it to be, I should say, a very powerful journey to help really either give you tools or kind of up level your self care or self nourishment. I love that, self
Mhm,
nourishment, and really bring healing to the places that need healing. I work with a lot of women that have pelvic pain, prolapse, leakage, and also, those that are just looking to heal.
mhm,
And so, like, I mean, on more of like an emotional level too. So we're really
mhm,
gonna, all of it will be there and be available. So you can check it out. I just put the link in the comments. It'll also lead you to my website where you can browse around. Um, and if you want to reach out and connect with me and, have any questions or anything, that would
mhm.
be great too. And I do see, I'm not sure how to say your name, Teyuta, I want to say, but if I'm saying it wrong, I
Oh, you can
apologize.
see the names. The names aren't coming
Yeah.
up for me
Oh,
here.
really? Oh,
Tayuda.
okay.
It's
I
Tayuda.
Toyota, yeah.
Mhm,
So um, at this point in time, I'm not ordering hormone labs and doing that kind of work. I do know people that do that, so I could definitely, if you want to reach out to me, refer you to people to do that. I am a midwife. I am licensed to do that. I definitely know about it, but it's not how I'm set up in my practice at this time. Oh, good. I said your name right. I'm seeing your comment. So, yeah, if you want to reach out, I could definitely guide you to someone that does do that, who I really, really admire and love. And so I'd be happy to do that. Um, yeah, I think I don't know what else to say. Yeah, I
okay.
think we answered all the questions, and
It's been
you have a way
wonderful
to.
spending time with you, Jade, and I would love to have you back, and maybe we can go deeper on some of those other
Hmm.
questions that I think by the comments, women do have a lot of questions. Here we have one more. My integrative doctor who used to order those and help me balance retired, and now I need someone new.
Okay.
Okay, and thanks for sharing
Yeah.
tips and
Oh,
wisdom. Yeah.
thank you. Thanks for being here and commenting and asking questions and being present with us. And yeah, so reach out to me. I can put a link also to just like if you want to just I mean you'd find a link on my website, but just for the sake of it, like if you wanted to reach out to me, you can email me or you could even schedule like a call with me. Is it okay if I put that in here too? And just
Yes,
a
please,
way
please
for
do.
people to
Yeah.
and then yeah, I'd be happy. I love being a resource. If I can help someone, great, and if I can't, I like to, be able to send them where they need to be. So,
Well, thank you so much, Jade, for being with us, and thank you for all you do in support of the divine
hmm.
feminine. Um, and please look her up, and she's a wealth of information, and really do want to have you back someday. So,
Aw, I'd be
all
happy to. I
right,
love this. Thank you
all
so
right,
much for having me here. Have a
take
wonderful
care.
day. To everyone who
Right,
joined us live or anyone that catches the replay, thank you so much.
right. Bye bye.
Bye.